What's going on, guys? Welcome to a new episode of WIZLAND with Wiz. Happy to be with you guys today. So as I'm doing my regular 45-minute walk, I wanted to actually bring this video to you guys. I mean, I think it's very important to find ways to kind of get to that next level. So I will share with you guys five things that if you start applying today will get you to that next level. And it's basically an application to prove that you are able to change your circumstances. Number one, the obvious one, work out. The more you work out, the more time you put into the gym, the more you will start seeing your physical appearance starting to change. The more you start seeing that you are growing muscle, the more that you start seeing your muscles getting bigger. Maybe you're getting a little bit slimmer, whatever the case might be. If you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to gain muscle, the more you do it, the more consistent you stay with it, the more you're going to be able to confirm that you are in the correct path. And the more you see the change physically, the more motivated you will be to continue to do what you're already doing. So go to the gym, start working out, and you will then see yourself becoming a different person. Number two, something practical. Reading books. For one, I hated reading books. I hated reading in general. I've never been a good reader. I did go through a phase when I was younger where I would read books, but not because I wanted to read it, but more so because there was a prize at the end of me reading a book and completing a quiz. Back in the day, I think they had a program for reading books where if you will read a book, you get points. If you get points, you're able to get a reward for the amount of points that you have accumulated throughout the semester. I used to read a lot of Goosebumps books back in the 90s. So that was the first kind of sign that I would read something that I enjoyed reading. But nowadays, I found a way to actually read things that have to do with self-development and things of that nature. So I go ahead and just read things like books that will help me in regards to becoming a better man, in regards to making money, in regards to developing ideas and executing in certain traits. So the best thing that I can tell you is kind of create a reward system. So if you read X amount of books, maybe treat yourself to something, whatever that might be. So find a way that you can start enjoying reading more, because to be honest with you guys, once you start reading, you're going to change your perspective, your thoughts are going to change. And I'm not just saying read fictional stuff. I'm talking about reading books with self-development, about becoming better, things that will get you in a better state of mind. So that's number two. Number three, your appearance. How you look in the mirror every day is kind of a reflection, not only of who you are, but also about the things that you do and the habits that you have. For me, I've always not cared about how I look. And to be honest with you, I've been able to still, in a way, be successful with girls in that sense, because I really never really care about it. But at this point in my life, I'm more so focused about being more proactive with having a haircut every 2 weeks, with the type of clothes that I wear, how they fit, and it honestly feels good when I wake up and I see myself in the mirror and I don't look like a fucking like I look bad, you know, like my face doesn't look like I need that I'm not active. Like, I have all these different habits that I have been able to develop through time, and one of them has been that start caring about how I look, because I really didn't care, man. Like, I honestly been that type of person that I'm not into fashion, I'm not into the clothes, spending money on clothes and stuff of that nature. But it is important to have at least a couple of shirts that fit right, at least having a couple of pants that fit right, and having a couple of shoes that actually look nice to make yourself look presentable. So start caring about the type of shirts and the type of clothes you wear, and how you actually maintain, groom yourself. Because to be honest with you guys, if you don't care for yourself, nobody will care for yourself. So that's number 3. Number 4, the more you save, the more confidence you will gain. That's another thing. I mean, all these things that I'm sharing with you guys, I really didn't care for. I just started caring about that maybe the last 2 to 3 years. But I really didn't care about this because I would always think about, in the sense of, what if I don't live long enough, you know? Reason being is because, I mean, I know people that have died very young ages. I have people in my personal family that I've lost at a young age. So to be honest with you guys, it's just the fact of your thought process and your mindset. So for me, coming from a background of that sense, is like, I've always thought that maybe I need to live in the moment, and that's just reality of what it is, you know. So for me, within the last 2 to 3 years, I kind of have changed that mindset to start saving more, just because I do intend to live 100 years. That's my goal. I want to be alive for 100 years. And 100 years from now is a very long time. So I see some issues with the older people in my life, like my mom, like my aunt, like my uncles, all of that. And I don't want to be in that same position. I want to be in a way better off position. So I'm starting to do things at a young age that I wasn't doing like 5 years ago, because it is very important for you to start saving more. The amount of money you make doesn't reflect the potential that you can make in the future, but it does reflect where you can't, what skills you currently have. So my thing is to always keep more than what you spend. So whatever that might be for you on rent, whatever that might be on your car, whatever that might be on food, or whatever the case is, you have to understand that if you're spending more than what you're making, you're putting yourself in a position of losing, and you're creating a bad habit that will be hard to get out of the more you do it. All bad habits and all habits in general, the more you do them, the more difficult it is for you to actually get out of them. And that's in a positive thing, and that's also in negative things. So you have to understand that the more you save, and it can be as small as saving $20 every week or $20 every month, whatever the case is. But I would say start where you're at, and start with the amount that doesn't hit your pocket. Maybe those $20 that you save, you would have used it on food or whatever the case might be. Maybe don't eat out today, or maybe don't eat out this week, and save that $20 for the month. Trust me, if you just say $20 in a month, compared to zero, let's say you save $20 in a year. That's 20 times 12. So let's see, 2,500, 200. That's almost about $400, $300, something like that. And the thing is that, no, that's not $300. That's like a $240. That's $240. So you had $240 at the end of the year, compared to having $0. So now you can actually invest that in whatever it is that you're trying to kind of have in order to grow your money. So you have to understand that it's always good to have something rather than nothing. So when it comes to saving, it's all a matter of creating the habit of saving first. For me, I started with saving $5 each week. Eventually I started saving more, because I was like, you know what, I don't really need to go out. So that money that I would go out with, I would just put it into my savings, which is crypto. In a sense, that's my investing portfolio. So I do believe in crypto. So I'll put those $20 into a crypto asset that I believe is going to be lucrative in the future. So that has to be one of the main things that you have to look into, man. Like, you have to see at different opportunities, see at things that you enjoy, or see things that you might be a bit more into, that you can invest in for the future. But it all starts with learning how to save, because if you don't save, you don't have money that you can actually invest in. Number number 5, and that is stop eating out as much as possible. That's another of my weaknesses, and I try to get better at this every week. I try to kind of look into, if I eaten out this week, how many times have I eaten out? Coming out of 75 hard, I really have done a better job with this, because I haven't eaten as much out as I would prior to that. At some point I was eating about 3 times a day. I was eating out, so that's about, no lie, that's about $45 a day I was spending on just food out. I was eating breakfast, maybe lunch, and then at the end dinner. So I'll be eating 3 times a day, and I would be eating things like Cane's, things like burgers from like either Burger King or whatever spot that I can find around here in Houston, or I would just go ahead and just buy me Chinese food, or buy me some KFC or Popeyes, whatever the case, whatever I was feeling to eat, I would just go ahead and buy it. And the thing is that when you're eating bad, you're not gonna have good energy. You're gonna feel lethargic, you're gonna feel tired, you're gonna feel lazy, and that actually goes into different levels and different aspects of life. So the more you allow yourself to eat out, and I'm not saying, I mean, if you have the means for it, perfect, but I'm talking about if you are just lazy and you're just not committing yourself to maybe cooking maybe once a week or twice a week, because sometimes that's all it takes for you to be able to eat throughout the week. You have to cook big. Like for me, when I do decide to cook, I cook one time, and that one time lasts for about 3 days worth of food, at least for dinner. And then again, if I want to cook again, I do the same thing. So it's like I will cook for two times in a week. That equals to about 3 days worth of food. And then if I want to eat one day out, then I'll go ahead and allow myself to do that. So that's one of the things that you have to understand, that the more you're eating out, the more that you're entertaining that idea and allowing that idea to be a reality for you. For one, you're spending a lot of money. For two, you're not allowing, you're basically taking a hit on the health department. So you're becoming weaker. You're gonna feel worse, because usually when you do that, you don't even care about the amount of water you're drinking either. So you have to understand that all of this is tied up together in some way. It all makes a difference in your life. So if you're not eating right, if you're just eating out, that shit is gonna affect you. But I promise you, the more that you're aware of this, the less that you eat out, the also that you looking at yourself for one, how you feel, how you look, that's gonna motivate you to keep doing it. And you're gonna see the difference immediately, not only in your life but also in your bank account. So yeah, guys, these are 5 things that will motivate you to start changing immediately. And I say immediately because you will start seeing these changes immediately, as long as you start making those changes. So I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care. Peace.